Nepal, we think of Everest. But life and civilization are mainly constructed in the valley where temple and monastery abound us. And yes, this culture, heritage and tradition is what makes us and is our identity. Namaste and Jai Shilapa. I'm Alicia Bhastracharya from Bodhi Television, and I extend a humble gratitude to everyone for becoming a part of our journey to the places where Buddha resides. Our today's pilgrimage destination is Nala Karunamaya, situated in Nala, which is almost 26 kilometers east of the Kathmandu capital and about 3 kilometers to the northwestern part of the Banipa. And yes, today our destination is Nala Karunamaya, and sometimes directing the location could be a very difficult task. So today we are here at the Kulamanch bus station, and the very regular bus departs to Banipa from here, the spot I'm standing, and the journey is about 1.5 hours in case of huge traffic. So this is the place to catch a bus to our today's pilgrimage destination, Nala Karunamaya. The refreshing countryside view is definitely a treat to oneself. Traveling, it leaves you speechless, then turns us into a storyteller. Yes, I'm standing at the midpoint of Chamasimha Bhaktapur, which is also a midpoint to our today's destination. And from this midpoint, our today's destination, Nala Karunamaya, is almost 7 kilometers, as you can also see here. And yes, there are 2 access points to our today's destination. One being from here, Chamasimha Bhaktapur, and the other one is in the other part of the town from Banipa. And we decided to choose this way because the way from the Banipa is under construction. So ladies and gentlemen, let's find out what this narrowest lanes and ancient culture has in store for us. Follow me. Chamasimha is a place full of masterpieces of 8 lions around the corners surrounding the pond. The shop contains all essential household goods. The transport of both goods and human is usually done by lorry. The daily market also contains a good selection of products where fresh fruits and vegetables are in abundance. On the brink, a few minutes away to our destination, up in the hills, we got a glimpse of magnificent monastery, Dakpo Stradrupling Monastery. Main trade centers of this region are Nala Bajar and Sera. Nala expands as Ugrachandi Nala, Tukucha Nala, Tatali, Nagagao and Debitar Village Development Committee. Yes, we have reached Nala. Nala is in fact a captivating place that allures with beautiful landscape and village sanctuaries. Actually, Nala expands from the northwestern part of the Kavripul district and lies in the eastern part of the Bhaktapur district in the Bagmati zone of central Nepal. And also Nala seems to be the region of one of the biggest supplier of green vegetables and potatoes to the capital city Kathmandu. Nala is a city shrouded with ancient culture and mystery, be it the intricate Newari style architecture or the abundance of meaningful temples or the spirituality of the residents of the Nala town. Everything seems so mesmerizing, and the city has stayed in its rooted culture, also following with the modern changes as well. And yes, in this typical morning walking in the town of Nala on this pretty misty day, we could see the people walking to their works. Some are walking to the prayers, and travelers walking for the breakfast, and people like me is heading to a journey of the pilgrimage destination to our lovely audiences. And yes, in fact, there's no denial that the city makes us feel as if we have gone to the past of the distant memories. And yes, also as you can see, we have reached to our today's pilgrimage destination, Nala Karunamaya. Nala Karunamaya lies in the edge of the Nala village in town. So yes, today we are very excited to explore the stories behind these stories. Pairs of these statues of Gaussian lines have traditionally stood in front of Buddhist shrines with symbolic elements and also believed to have powerful mythic protective benefits. The temple opens at early 5:30 a.m. in the morning, being the most peaceful time of the day, for Nitya Puja followed with the religious ritual of worship, and in the evening from 5:30 p.m. for the Arati, which is a part of puja in which light from wicks soaked in purified butter is being offered. Doorways and struts holding the roofs portrays artistic work of highly skilled craftsmen. Wood carvings remain one of the major attractions of Nala region. The authenticity of the Nala Karunamaya Lokeshwara temple and archaeological remains spanning from the centuries unknown, including Buddhist stupas as well as numerous layers of brick structures have been established through a series of excavation since the discovery of the Lokeshwaras. With the emergence of number of Lokeshwaras, the development of worship of rituals and the rituals of fastings and recitation of mantras has been developed. And also, the Newar Buddhists worshipped four forms of Lokeshwaras. One is Karunamaya Lokeshwara, also known as Srishtikanta Lokeshwara of Nala, as our today's destination. The other three are Bungadyo or Leknath of Patan, Adinath of Chobar, and Arga Alokiteshwara of Janabaha, situated in Kathmandu. And also, these four Lokeshwar is believed to have their own special virtue of their own, and Srishtikanta Lokeshwara of Nala is believed to have the deeds as the creator. Yes, people performed religious rituals for various purposes, be it for attending the prosperity, fulfilling of cherished desire, success of life, or for prolonging of lives. And the Newar Buddhists worship these four forms of Lokeshwaras by performing and observing rituals of fasting every Saptami of the month. Buddhist stupa symbolizes the Buddhist concept of the universe. The solid dome that rises up from the circular base is a representation of the dome-shaped sky enclosing the world mountain. The shape of stupas may have been inspired by the begging bowl of the wandering Buddha. Namaste सबैलाई कहाँबाट आउनुभयो
हामी क्षेत्रवादी तल्कोबाट
दर्शन गर्न आउनु भएको हैन नाला करुणामय अनि पहिला पनि आउनु भएको छ
पहिला म त आएको थिएन दिदीहरु म मेरो अनुभव थियो अनि म नआएकोले मलाई नै ल्याउनलाई भनेर बजारको भ्याकेसन थियो बिदामा आएको
Jatras continues to be observed with the undiminished mirth and enthusiasm. Even today, Jatras are being observed by the resident of Nala, demonstrating the social and the religious unity. And of all the Jatras, the famous Jatra out here is the Karunamaya Lokeshwar Jatra. The procession of the Jatra is taken out every year by the devotees and the residents of the Nala town with great mirth, jubilation and fanfare.
अब पुण्यको दिनमा चाहिँ त्यो दिउन्यासलिका भन्छ है त्यो दिउन्यासलिका भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यहाँ मन्दिर भित्र चाहिँ मन्दिर एउटा चाहिँ हुँदैन हैन कलश स्थापना हुन्छ त्यो एक दिन भयो अनि त्यसको भोलिपल्ट पूर्णिको भोलिपल्ट परेवाको दिनमा चाहिँ अब जस्तै त्यो मन्दिरलाई त्यो देउटालाई चाहिँ यहाँ बाहिर निकालेर त्यो टोलीमा राखेर है विदेशी अब सबै अब काठमाडौँ ललितपुर भक्तपुर होइन बनेपा यस्तो थिनी सबैहरू आएर चाहिँ यहाँ चाहिँ त्यो अब ललितपुरको त्यो पाण्डु गुर्जुहरू होइन गुठियारसहित आएर चाहिँ अनि त्यहाँ चाहिँ स्नान गर्ने भनेको न्वाउँ भन्छ न्वाउँ गर्ने अनि त्यो न्वाउँ गर्ने सिद्ध्याएपछि चाहिँ फेरि देउटालाई भित्रै राखेर फेरि त्यसको भोलिपल्ट परिवार द्वितीयको दिनमा चाहिँ त्यो देउटालाई चाहिँ फेरि बाहिर राखेर है त्यो अब पेन्टिङ भन्छ एउटा लाम्पुङ भन्छ खास देउटालाई चाहिँ होइन त्यो पेन्टिङ गरेर त्यो सिँगारपटार राम्रोसँग गरेर चाहिँ त्यो एक दिन दुसो भन्छ अनि त्यो दुसोको दिनमा चाहिँ यहाँ चाहिँ जस्तै प्रशिष्ट जात्रा जस्तो यहाँ चाहिँ कलेज जम्मै राखेर त्यहाँनिर त्यो बुङमतीको त्यो पाण्डु गुर्जुहरू आएर उनीहरूले पूजासुजा गरेर होइन अनि काठमाडौँको गुठियार छ होइन यसमा गुठियारहरू आएर अनि पुजारीहरू हामीहरू बसेर चाहिँ अनि पूजासुजा गरिन्छ अनि त्यसको भोलिपल्ट तृतीयको दिनमा चाहिँ देउटालाई बाहिर निकालेर होइन मन्दिरभित्र राखेर एउटा त्यो लोकेश्वर करुणामय भयो होइन एउटा चाहिँ दीपङ्कर अनि त्यो दुइटै चाहिँ यही नाला बजार घुमाएर जात्रा गरेर अनि यही मन्दिरभित्र राखिन्छ अनि त्यसको भोलिपल्ट चाहिँ अनि त्यसको भोलिपल्ट चौथीको दिनमा चाहिँ त्यही कलेजहरूको विसर्जन गर्ने माथिबाट चाहिँ होइन जल खसालेर जस्तै पालो लिने मान्छेले चाहिँ कपालमा थापेर त्यो जल विसर्जन गरिसकेपछि चाहिँ अनि यहाँको जात्रा चाहिँ सम्पन्न।
Thir Bajracharya, who have been serving as a priest from the age of 12, enlightened us with a story about the origin of Nala Karunamaya. Every place has its own history and significance. Nala ko चाहिँ के त्यस्तो स्टोरी रहेछ यसको स्थापना हुनुको पछाडि?
अब यो स्थापना भएको चाहिँ अब यो खास पहिला चाहिँ यो मन्दिर यो चाहिँ नारायणको मन्दिर भन्थ्यो है मैले भित्र देखाएको त्यहाँ नारायण छ
हजुर
त्यो नारायणको मन्दिर भन्छ अनि त्यो अब चाहिँ यो चाहिँ खास पहिला भुङमतीमा थियो र यो
करुणामय
यो भुङमती गरे अनि भुङमतीबाट चाहिँ अब जस्तै अब उता तिब्बततिर चाइनातिर लानलाई चाहिँ त्यो के भन्छ लामा भोटेहरूले पहिला चोरेर ल्याएर यो खोलामा फालेर होइन चाहिँ अनि त्यो लानै नसकेर चाहिँ अनि त्यहाँबाट जात्रा गरेर ल्याएर यहाँसम्म राख्यो है यहाँ बिसाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ लानै नसकेर चाहिँ अनि यहीँभित्र नारायणको ठाउँमा करुणामय स्थापना भयो।
The symbolic bell symbolizes Buddha's voice. It calls for the protection of heavenly deities. The sound of bells equals the sound of dharma. Every country has its own culture, and the same culture helps them to adjust in the society. Nepal, universally known as the land of Shakyamuni Buddha, Buddhism holds a very prominent position in Nepal and plays a very significant role in making the culture of the Nepal a more glorious one. And yes, with the popularity of Buddhism, people are nowadays more interested to life and the deeds of Tathagata Buddha and Bodhisattvas. And with the popularity of Mahayana Buddhism, Bodhisattvas Lokeshwaras were conceived and created in a large numbers. And due to the quality of Karuna Lokeshwara, compassion, also called Karunamaya, and with the fame of Lokeshwara, the number of pantheons has increased from 108 to 160. Yes, just to the adjacent of Karunamaya Lokeshwara, also known as Srishtikanta Lokeshwara, there's an enclosed room where there happens the daily rituals and recitation and mantras every day from 5:30 to 7 in the morning. And in this enclosed shrine, you could also find 108 pantheons of Lokeshwara, and the view is quite phenomenal and incredible. These four forms of Lokeshwaras have special virtue of their own, rendering some special importances. Bungtyo or Loknath Lokeshwar of Patan is a deity who liberated three loka, earth, heaven and hell. Adinath Lokeshwar of Chobar, a deity who blesses devotees with good health and mental peace. Arya Alokiteshwara of Janabha, situated in Kathmandu, is a deity known and honored as capable of liberating all sentient beings, and Srishtikanta Lokeshwar is honored as the creator of the world. In a true sense, I experienced a peace of mind where the first time in my life I initiated to become a part of the bhajan. It is actually a song with religious theme and spiritual ideas, offering love and devotion to the deity. Sri Srishtikanta Lokeshwar Gyanmala Bhajan Kala. Actually, this is an organization, association, or maybe we can call it a committee that has initiated the Gyanmala Bhajan every morning, every day from 5 to 7 in the morning. And actually these 108 images of Lokeshwaras, which are very colorful and beautiful paintings, and in fact it is a fine detail, intricate and a niche, and definitely an example of a one man of a craftsmanship. Didi, namaste. Namaste. See, with this very warm hearts and the friendly smile of these women of the Nala town, equally mesmerizing is the architecture of these area. And also, culture is a very integral part of the day-to-day life, from birth to death. And culture being one of the prominent aspects of life, in most of the Newari households, we can see these cultural activities happening as a daily way of work. For them, it's just a daily part of the life, the work. And for the visitor like us, it's actually a mesmerizing fairy tale story. In the context of Nepal, culture and religion are two inseparable. These numerous festivals have been observed with a motive to preserve the culture that makes us, and the practice of these celebration of these festivals and preservation of rituals and duties are still conducted by the locals who stand very strong and united for the preservation for what they take pride in, marking their identity. And the saddest part lies here. According to the local priest here, These preservation of ritual duties and festivals, and also the maintenance and restoration of these temples and around the periphery of this temple has not been able to maintain well because of the weakness of the financial and the government support and assistance. And to all the concerned authorities and government, it's an humble request to expedite and shift their focus towards these restoration and maintenance of this culture heritage side, for the fact being these heritages are what makes us. And the second very important and pivotal fact is, because of these culture heritage shrine, the number of tourist influx will increase and hence will boost the tourism industry.
गुठीबाट चाहिँ हामीलाई केही पनि दिएको छैन यो संरक्षणको लागि गुठीले चाहिँ त्यो पुरातत्व विभागमा पनि छ भन्छ गुठीमा पनि छ भन्छ त्यो चाहिँ हामीले खोज नीति पनि गरेका छैन हैन अनि त्यसको चाहिँ उनीहरूले पनि हामीलाई केही गरेका छैन।
It is believed that Karunamaya Lokeshwar came on this earth for the elimination of the suffering of all the sentient beings and welfare of the people and the world. And according to the ancient scripture of Gunakaran, the Yuhi Sutra, they have mentioned the origin of Karunamaya Lokeshwar, and it is believed that Karunamaya Lokeshwar is believed and considered and highly regarded as the protector of the world. For a moment, I felt like I am viewing a perfect portrait where women, along with performing the daily household chores, working equally as men in farms under a faint sun. Namaste, Didi. Sanche. Mun basum. Thank you. I was awestruck and inspired by the contagious smile and energy. The positivity these women retain is beyond imagination. The best part in this region are everybody knows everybody else. The family and the ancestors, they are very closely knit communities. Buddhist people believe in the life of reincarnation. In fact, the cosmic law of cause and effect called karma, and they also believe that the good spiritual life cycle can improve the afterlife. So they attempt to attain an enlightenment in the eternal life in nirvana. Fascinating Nala town, set amid of Himalayas, attract thousands of tourists with its spectacular mountainous landscape, ancient culture, as well as the deep mystical roots of the religious faith of the people, which is still alive today. And yes, in these towns, ancient towns, autumn season could be probably the favorite season of the resident and inhabitants of the Nala town because of the clear visibility and the very much favorable weather. And yes, in these type of towns where agriculture and farming is the daily life of the people, and in conversation to one of the farmers who are currently working for the cultivation of potatoes. Namaste, Dai.
नमस्ते
अहिले आलुको खेती भएर हो?
हजुर
अहिले सिजन हो?
हजुर
कतिदेखि कतिसम्म रहेछ सिजन यसको?
सिजन यो पुस र माघमा चाहिँ यो रोपिन्छ।
अनि यहाँबाट चाहिँ कहाँ जाँदो रहेछ नालाबाट आलुहरू?
नालाबाट तपाईको नेपालको अधिराज्यभर जान्छ।
In these areas where farming and agriculture is the daily way of life, agriculture being the most important occupation and profession of the inhabitants around this area. And therefore, yes, the rhythm of the life and the labor is governed by the season out here. Walking through the trails, though small, with a gentle breeze and a fresh air, admiring the hard work of these farmers, indeed real people of the country, to whom the city people are completely dependent upon for our staple diet. These terrace farming on the foothills of the Himalayas is a very common sight in the Nala region. Yes, can you see this high quality of the wood carving in this ancient house in the town of Nala? The details are quite outstanding. And the villages of these Nala town has developed their own style of architecture covered in decoration. And yes, the life of the people are very much dependent upon the season of the year and the festivals, in fact. While I was not able to take my eyes off from the unique and typical houses, a very interesting and friendly elder of 64 years old instilled and amazed us with the information that the house was constructed 43 years back. And when I inquired him the status of the influx of the tourists, the way he defined all was quite cute and genuine.
All in all of the one of the neighborhood only Saturday. Shonibar only New Year also on the god of the Buddha.
यति नजिक बसिराख्नु भएको छ नाला करुणामय लुकेश्वरको हैन
Popular one of the developing for the god of the help me our people of Nala.
No wonder Nepal has one of the highest percentage of return travelers in the world, many of who immerse and involve themselves deep into the countryside and its people. The shaking of the earth, those crumbling sound and the painful scream. Every one of us must have felt the end of the world right before our eyes. And none of our generation must have witnessed the kind of the disaster and the scale of the devastation, the earthquake of April to 21st have brought in us. The houses we used to call as home just got ruined, and the monuments we were so proud just turned into debris. But the best part is the Nala Karunamaya Lokeshwara of the Nala region yet managed to survive the earthquake, though the houses and even the newly constructed one were not granted mercy. But the best part is the contemplative of the calm in the region of the Nala town is quite mystical and serene till date. The outer gates in the southern part of the temple is adorned by paintings of fierce gods, warriors that ward off evil spirits. Their duty is to keep demons and evil spirits out of the temple area. It is therefore evident that Karunamayas occupy a place of great importance in Buddhist literature. Driving back to the city, I am definitely going to realize the very famous and classic teaching of Buddhist. Everything is transitory, so seize the moment, and I'm gonna definitely seize my enchanting and very cheerful experience of my today's pilgrimage destination. And yes, with that, I, Alicia Bajracharya, along with my very lovely crew member from Bodhi Television, Buddhism from Lumbini to the World, will definitely continue our journey to the places where Buddha resides in our next episode. Until then, stay connected and keep traveling. Bye-bye. Thank you.